Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Chris Brady, the City Manager for the City of Mesa. Before we make our announcement today, we do want to introduce first our speakers who are here with us today. We have Mayor John Giles, and we have our Council Member and Public Safety Committee Chair Alex Finter, who will be speaking with us today. Also with us today are Vice Mayor Dennis Kavanaugh, Council Members Dave Luna, Council Member Kevin Thompson, Council Member-elect Mark Freeman. Did I get everybody? Yes, okay, thank you. I just want to make sure sometimes. Also want to recognize with us today, we have our interim chief, Fire and Medical Chief Mary Cameli, Assistants Mike Dunn and Corey Hayes. We want to welcome them here with us today. We also want to recognize all the members of the Mesa United Firefighters Association. And is Mr. Brian Jeffries here? Brian here? Not yet, but and all those who, the officials with Mesa United Firefighters, we welcome them. We also want to recognize Sally Harrison, the CEO and President of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Sally. We also have other community representatives here. We want to welcome Reverend Kirby, who's the interim president of the East Valley, Arizona NAACP. Roy M. Tatum Jr., president-elect of the East Valley, Arizona NAACP. Deanna Villanueva Saucedo, chair of the Mesa Association of Hispanic Citizens. Mark Young, CEO and president of Mesa United Way. And Phil Austin, who's just a good old community member. We always welcome him. Just a good guy. Also want to recognize, thank you, Chief Johnny Mesa, who's here, our police chief. I'm pleased today to be making this announcement. Let me first share with you that the process for selecting the next fire medical chief is something I take very seriously. And I think the council had made that very clear that this is an important decision that we will be making today. It's been a long time. It's been a while since the city's had to make that decision. And so I think today makes that today very significant. The process, as many of you may know, included the three finalists were all members of the Mesa Fire Medical Department. And I will tell you that during that process, as much as we thought we knew about the quality of the individuals in our organization, we were left with even a greater appreciation for the quality of leadership that we have in Mesa. So I want to thank the three finalists who were all part of that process, Mary Cameli, Corey Hayes, and Mike Dunn, because they did an exceptional job and made the decision today very difficult. But today, I am pleased to announce that we have selected Mary Cameli as the next Mesa Fire and Medical Chief. Mary, congratulations. Before we have Mary come up and share a few words, just to kind of a little background, Chief Cameli was appointed interim chief to replace Harry Beck when he retired in September of this year. Mary is making history today. She'll become Mesa's first female fire chief, where she began as a member of the fire department. She's been a member of the fire department since 1983. She has 33 years with the city of Mesa, so she's well qualified, has spent a lot of experience in a variety of different assignments within the department, and she can share some of those with you. But just also her, not only internally with the city of Mesa, but she has done a great job and distinguished herself in really developing relationships throughout our community. And we appreciate that she has really spent a lifetime of public service and serving not only the firefighters of Mesa, but also the community. She brings a tremendous amount of experience and knowledge to the job. We're excited to have her as part of the legacy of her family of service in the firefighting business. I think this is a great crown for her and her family and probably her parents as much as anybody. We appreciate that. But this time, we'd like to have some of our elected officials share brief comments with us. So at this time, let me introduce Councilmember Alex Finter, who serves as the chair of the Council Public Safety Committee, and invite him forward at this time. Alex?
Thank you. What a wonderful day. I wanted to recognize Chief Compton that's also here with us. Great leader in this fire service and in the Mesa Fire Department, and actually a national leader, and we appreciate all that he's done. So good to have you here, Chief. Wonderful. Much of the success that we're experiencing this, in the fire department today is because of Chief Beck and all the chiefs, Chief Compton all the way back. So we appreciate their leadership and the toll that it takes on an individual as a chief. But as mentioned, this is a historic day. We're really excited about this. For those of us that have been associated with the fire service for decades and know the history of the department all the way back, first time ever. And we have an amazing individual that's been chosen to be the fire chief here. I'm going to read some of these comments because I wanted to make sure I said them properly and not miss out on any of the thoughts that I had. Mesa Fire Department is one of the most progressive and innovative departments in the nation, and I mean that, in the nation. That's not bragging, that's fact. We have departments come from all over the United States to come to Mesa and find out how they're being so innovative, especially with community medicine, some of the more efficient ways to be able to provide service in the community. We recognize that it's because of the great leaders we have. In fact, the great leadership that we have on this department includes Chief Dunn, Chief Hayes, and Chief Cameli, all the administrative staff, all the individuals in the field. But those three chiefs have been vital in the success that we've had in the last few years. And I want to tell you a little bit about what I know about Mary Cameli. But before I do that, I wanted to look around the wonderful Damiani family that's here with us. Anybody that knows these folks know that they're the salt of the earth. Hard workers, amazing individuals, no doubt, with the fine folks that have raised such great kids that are all involved in the fire service, the three at least that I know of, and there's probably others too, I think kids and grandkids that are there. So it runs deep in their veins, and it's because they're such good people and good individuals. But let me tell you what I know about Mary Cameli. And this is not to sound like a eulogy. This is this is a celebration. So if I get a little choked up or something, again, it's not the eulogy kind of thing. She was one of the first of two women to be hired in Mesa as firefighters. And let me tell you, that was a controversial time. For those of us that were around and experienced that was a difficult decision, I think, for the administration at that time. Today, it's a no-brainer. No, we just don't even, you can't even imagine how people thought back then in the fire service and how we're dealing with it now. But this was before fire stations were built to accommodate women. And the firehouse culture, I'm going to tell you, many of you know it in here, and the facilities at times were pretty rough. I had to cross out what I originally put down, and that was brutal. But it was pretty rough. And those of us that were around for that understand, especially for the women firefighters that were there. And I thought about sharing a couple of experiences, firehouse experiences, and I thought, I'll let it go. and the reason why is because I know Mary Cameli. All she remembers is the good times. And so she would not want to dwell on that. But I can tell you, it took a lot of courage then. But she not only survived the circumstances, she improved and uplifted everything she touched. And I would say that's probably an understatement. I want to share with you quickly, and we're looking forward to hearing from our good mayor and then from Chief Cameli. Mary Cameli, Rick Motamore, and myself serving at the same firehouse. I don't even name the firehouse because I don't want anybody to tie back some of the other personalities that were there. We became aware that Mary was expecting and would soon leave to take less hazardous duties. And that was, and during her pregnancy, we found out, and this was for pregnancy matters, we found out later she was expecting the twins. I can tell you that shortly after we found out about that, and she knows the story, and I know Rick does too, we had a terrible house fire that came in our area. We were first due. The crews arrived on the scene quickly. We had heavy fire involvement in the attic. This was one of those big Bowen homes, 2 stories, lots of square footage. The fire and the smoke was down to the floor. It was on the 2nd floor and up in the attic. And so knowing what we knew and Mary's condition and the situation, we're pulling lines, search and rescue, crawling up these stairs and getting up into some heavy smoke areas. I got to tell you, pretty dang scary situation. That fire had been burning for a while. The roof was compromised. And I had in parentheses here, scary. It was scary. Let me tell you, Chief Cameli, Mary Cameli, firefighter Mary Cameli, never paused, never hesitated, never made excuses. She and the twins, yeah, aggressively fought alongside her fellow firefighters to save that house. Let me tell you, and I'll end with this. I know Chief Cameli is going to bring all of that personality, character, and her courage to this new position. She's going to need every bit of it. And it's my hope and prayer that all of us in the department, in the city, other places, rally behind Chief Cameli, Chief Hayes, and Chief Dunn, and support them as they deal with the challenges lay ahead. And we're very grateful for all 3 of them and for all that they've done. Thank you. We'd like to invite up now our good mayor, Mayor Giles, and look forward to him.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. It truly is an honor for me to be here today. This is a great day for the city of Mesa, Arizona. As has been mentioned by Alex, being the fire chief in Mesa, Arizona is a big deal. Going back to the days of Chief Compton and certainly Chief Beck and others, the leader of the Mesa Fire and Medical Department is a national leader. This department is known as an elite fire department. It is a department that is known as a national leader in innovation. And Alex was not exaggerating when he said that there are departments from all over the country that are here on a regular basis trying to learn how to be more like the Mesa Fire and Medical Department. So the person that leads that very elite organization assumes a tremendous amount of history and responsibility. And those of us who know Mary know that that's not going to be a problem. I think if I were to take a poll of everyone I know and say, list for me the top 3 people, your estimation of who are the best 3 people that you know, Mary Cameli's name would be the one that popped out. So we have a tremendous amount of respect and trust in you, Mary. As you know, we don't have a Mesa Fire Department anymore. This is Mesa Fire and Medical. And Mary is the person who has led the community medical innovations and that huge part of this department for the last few years. So she is in exactly the right position to be the one that continues that tradition. And all of that innovation, all of that problem solving, all of that creativity, all of that how are we going to do more with less attitude that has been in abundance for the last few years is going to have to be taken to the next level with the challenges that we face for the next few years. So I am very grateful that we have Mary Cameli as the person that can assume those responsibilities. So without further ado, Mary, please let me be the first one to congratulate you and to invite you to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those very nice comments. Mayor, Council, thank you for your support. And Councilmember Finter, I considered that I had 2 extra bodies to help me on that fire, so I looked at it as a positive. I never told anybody I was pregnant because I didn't want them to kick me off the truck. But I couldn't eat anything. When they made stuffed peppers, I would walk out of the room. So they never saw me at dinner time or at lunchtime. So I think they just figured it out on their own. So, but it was a big secret. But I'm humbled and I'm very honored to have this privilege of being the fire chief for the Mesa Fire and Medical Department. I appreciate the support from the Mayor and Council, Chris Brady, John Pombe. It means so much to me. And truly my 2 candidates that attested with me, Chief Hayes and Chief Dunn. They're outstanding, and I am so lucky that we're all a good team. We have great depth in our organization, and I feel so fortunate to have that. As Councilmember Finter mentioned, we can't forget those that led the fire departments to get us where we are today. In my 33 years, I had 4 fire chiefs. It was Chief Johnson, who's no longer here, but Chief Oliver, Chief Compton, and Chief Beck. And thank you all very much, because I think they all had a hand in making Mesa Fire what it is today. And I've learned so much, and I will continue to learn from what they've taught us while we were here. And most importantly, the men and women of the Mesa Fire Department, Mesa Fire Medical Department, I'm sorry. What rank, division, sworn, civilian, every single one of you is so, so important to this organization. And I feel so blessed to work with such great people. And that's why Mesa Fire Department is what it is today, because of you. It's because of all of you. And that's why I feel so fortunate to have this honor to lead this organization with such great people. And thank you so much for this privilege. And I truly know that as we go forward in the future, we will continue to move Mesa Fire Medical Department forward, and we will continue to excel in all that we do, because quality customer service is what you do every day, and you give 100% every day, and we will continue with that same message as we go forward. Thank you very much for this honor, and I am truly, truly excited about this move.